Okay, live chat. Welcome to live chat. All right, it looks like it's working. Okay, so let me get on with today's live stream. So again, quick intro. I was able to generate more views these past few days or the last 7 days. On the YouTube Studio, you have an option to select. If you want to track your analytics, you have an option to select if you want to do the last 7 days, or you also have an option to select, let's say, you want to do the last month or the last 90 days. So I usually go for the last 7 days. This is the standard setting that I go for because I want to see. I think the 7 days is more realistic for me if I am to make some adjustments, and we all have to be making adjustments as small content creator. I think that's my second tip for today. So my first tip obviously is um, really evaluate your channel. No one will evaluate your channel best apart from yourself. So that's a strategy number one. Now that you've evaluated yourself, not now that you've figured out, and now that you've personally assess your channel and say, look, nothing's been going on. My views, I had days where I had zero views. And that's the time when you really want to say, okay, I need to evaluate my channel. We can wish upon a star that our channel will be noticed, our channel will be ranked, but it's not going to happen unless we also do or make some amendments or recreate our channel to a certain extent. This is the purpose of today's live stream. This is the whole concept of today's live stream. How I feel that after I have evaluated my channel, right? So after I've evaluated my channel, the next thing I did was I basically applied a very uniform method all across my 90 something videos. So let me break it down to you guys. So after I've evaluated my own channel, right? Based on the numbers, based on the last 7 days analytics, that there's no views and all that, I realized that, oh my gosh, I really need to make a lot of changes here in order for me to really see whether there is a chance for me to progress. So, first thing I did, get my notes. First thing I did, guys, is I have updated 80% of my thumbnails. I still have 20% to go because it takes a while. I have 90 something videos, right? So, what I did, guys, is after I have evaluated my channel and I therefore conclude that it's stagnant. And so, the first initiative I did was to update 80% of my of my thumbnails. Let that sink in a bit. So, how did I do that? I do use Canva, which I'm sure many of you are using as well. And what I like about Canva is I'm also learning as I go. There's a lot of features there that actually even makes your thumbnail creativity enhanced. It's very user friendly, and I love how I can just play around with different thumbnails. And I think after I'm coming to 4 months as a channel, I think after nearly 4 months, I have really improved my thumbnail skill. And it's all part of experience. It's just from experience. Okay, so number one tip, recreate all your thumbnails. Again, today's live stream, I am recommending all of this if you've been in the same place as myself, where my entire channel, have not had any movements. And I would describe it as it was, I needed to basically jumpstart my channel if I want to move for 2025. So the first thing, 80%, maybe I will still look at the others, but I feel like I'm going to do housekeeping. This is what I call housekeeping. It's a major housekeeping, you know? Like I went through every single thumbnail and I sat down and understand how the thumbnails appear to the viewers. So I question myself on every thumbnail. And believe me, after I went through one thumbnail, second thumbnail, I couldn't stop. I just went through every single content on my playlist. So that's that. I went through all my thumbnails and made sure that all the thumbnails are basically changed. I basically change every single thumbnail, and from the look to the word and to the wordings to the message that I wanted to convey, I cleaned up all of that. So that's the first thing. That's basically the front of my content, which is the thumbnail. Hey John, good to see you. So I'm just to catch up again. I think there's few that are just coming in. This is the part 3, John, of our last two live stream. This is gonna be as epic as the last two. So if you guys are able to join in, that will be great because at least we can discuss, and I'm gonna share with you some YouTube updates that I've learned that would be very, very useful for all of us, as this is really gonna be beneficial for new or small channels. Okay, so as I was saying, what first thing I did this week, because John, I started seeing movements on my views. I have about 900 views in the last 7 days, and that's big. That's big for me. Okay, almost 900 views is big for myself, for a small channel like myself, and we all can relate to that. Any small channels can relate to that. Just by cleaning up all my thumbnail. I don't care how those thumbnails performed the last 3 months. I clean it all up. But there's maybe three or four who had 2,000 views. There's one video that has 2,000 views, and one video with 1,000 something, and one video with 800 something. I think I have top three that I decided not to change the thumbnail. Because why do I have to? It has generated a lot of attraction and views. But not to say that I'm not going back to that later on, because of my tracking sheet. Remember my tracking report or my Excel report where I track individual content, which was discussed on part 1. I go through that like a hawk, and I look at the views currently compared to the views last month or last 2 weeks ago. And if I see that the stagnant is very significant, like there's no movement, there's like zero view the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I will have to decide to change the thumbnails for that again. So the idea of today's live stream is for me to share with you the housekeeping I had been doing the last 5 days here in Germany. That's what's keeping me busy. And it felt so good for myself to look at every single thumbnail being revamped, giving a different energy. I wanted to give a different vibe. I want it to be fresh for myself as well when I look at it. And most importantly, I feel like if I look back to my first month when I had those thumbnails to now coming to my fourth month, I think I've gained enough experience already to identify a very attractive thumbnail, or a thumbnail that would have a chance, or a thumbnail that still really needs a lot of work. So that's number one tip. If you haven't really revamped your entire playlist, your entire contents, I don't know how many contents you have. If you have hundreds, if you have 200s, if you have more, it's going to require a lot of work and time, but it will be super worth it, because since I changed my thumbnail, there's three things that I changed in my setting the last 7 days or 5 days. Okay, that has generated almost 900 views collectively. So what I did, I cleaned up all my thumbnail. So thumbnail is done. The next thing I did was I want to share with you the exact thing I've done there. I basically standardized my description. Let that sink in. I standardized all my description. So every single video, because I have a niche, right? So my niche is sales. Of course, there's other subtopics in there, but I can tweak it here and there. But generally, if you go to my channel and just check out one of my video, or maybe my first 5 videos, you would see the description has become standardized. There will be basically, it's like a template. I basically created one template that is standardized that I apply on all of my 90 something videos. And I, this time around, compared to my previous description, because it's standardized, there's a format. So let me share basically what I did on that, because I believe that to attract those 900 views the last 5 days, I don't think it's just a thumbnail, and we all know that they all work together. So now I'm going to the SEO part of my channel, of my video, sorry, that has worked hand in hand with my newly and revamped thumbnails. So what I did here is very simple. If you again go to my channel and you click one of my video and then you click the second, third, fourth, and fifth, you would see the consistency on my description. So what I put in there is obviously number one part, right? I now put what the video is. And of course, whatever the video is about, you have to use the keywords that are matching to your tag words in your tag. That is also aligned with the message you have on your thumbnail, that is also connected to the title of your video. Because my old description is like a salad. It's like, okay, yes, it's about, oh, this video is about sales, it's about telemarketing, it's about closing a sale, blah 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 blah. While that is correct, because that's really me being legit, that's the content, that's the description in my content, I realized that my channel is not really not attracting any views. Yes, it's a good video, but it's not really doing anything. So I standardize my description. So the first thing in line, you can check it while you're listening if you want to have the exact details. So I put there the first item. What is the video about? Briefly, doesn't have to be lengthy, but you need to put the SEO words there. You need to put the tag words, the words that really connects the title, the thumbnail, the description, and the content. That's it. There's four areas in every content that you want to make sure that they come together when they go into your description. So after I put the what the video is about, I now go on the next section, which is the link to subscribe. Okay, this is the call to action. And then, of course, I also put the, now that I have a website, if you've seen my website, I've also indicated there the link to my website where you can actually access free consultation from me if you want to enhance your sales strategies, whether you're a small business owner or whether you are a salesperson or you have a sales team, you want your sales team to improve. So I input that. Okay. Now, another, yes, John. Actually, yes, it really worked for me the last 5 days. Please stay with me on this. Have a drink. Have a drink while we talk about this, and while the other gang is joining us shortly. Okay. So after that, okay, have you? The third thing I put there, another call to action is watch this video next, or something in the line of, if you want videos related to this topic, here's the link. And what you do, you select one from your playlist, you copy and paste the link into the description, right? And then, of course, you cannot forget the bottom part, there will be the timestamp, which I've been raving about the last 2 live stream. So if you look at that structure as a viewer, right? So let's say you click on the video because on the video because the thumbnail looks good, right? You like the thumbnail, you click on it. After you click the thumbnail, you can see this description. And what should be at the very beginning of your description is what the video is about. I did not really put, here's my social media, here's my Facebook, here's my Instagram. I don't use all those. It doesn't really, I believe that my viewers would not really care about that if they can see everything on YouTube already, right? So I don't want to waste that space, that small space, which would catch the attention of our viewers. I don't want to waste that time by putting rubbish in there. So what I want my viewers to do is click my video because I have a really awesome and catchy and attractive thumbnail. Now, when you see the description, you would know, okay, so this video is about this, and that. But because it's linked with my tag, linked with my content, linked with my title, it's already given I don't know, maybe 20% idea in his mind, like, okay, I could entertain this video. This video is related to the thumbnail. Then as your viewer browse through what's on that content, right? The most important catchy part there for them is obviously the timestamp. Then they can see, oh, okay, so these are the chapters. These are the chapters you're going to see. Okay, let me give you an example. If you're in a bookstore and trying to decide what book to buy, it's the hardest decision to make, right? Because there's so many books. But you know what you need. So when you go to a bookstore, you look for a specific topic. And when you pick a random book, don't you go to the table of contents and you say, okay, this topic, this topic, this topic, okay, this book is for me. Or you go through table of contents of another book and you're like, no, there's only two items here that would benefit me. So why would I buy this book? It's exactly the same. In my opinion, it is exactly the same why timestamp is so important, because it's as good as your table of contents. This is how you sell a product. This is how books are sold. And this is how they created these books, because they wanted the random readers to pick this book because, hey, you have topics there that are resonating to what I'm looking for. So I hope that makes sense. So again, check one of my videos and you will see the consistency of the thumbnail and then the description, what the video is about. And then I give, obviously, because I have now a website, I can recommend you to click this if you actually would like to avail of the free consultation, if you need my sales coaching service. And then, of course, next would be, here is the link to subscribe. Obviously, it's a call to action. And obviously, finally, you want to also recommend the next video, and you can say something like, if you like this video and you want more of this, I have a recommended video for you. Here's the link. So that's a call to action. So you have 3 call to actions in your description box. And then finally, below is the timestamp, which is the table of contents. So that's another thing I've done in all of my videos. Like I said, 80%, I still have 20% to work on. I'm slowly working on it when I can sneak some time, because it really takes a lot of time. I really would have to sit on it for maybe, sometimes I don't even know, it took me 2 hours to go through 30%, because you really go through every single video, but it's so worth it. When I see the views moving, when you go to your analytics and you see a lot of bars, then I realized, oh my God, I need to do a live stream about this, because we cannot just only talk about, or we cannot just only apply what big channels are doing, which I've said before, because what applies to them is so different to small channels. When I see 0 view for the last 5 days, I was so discouraged. I was like, I was making really good videos. My content are so useful. People even have to pay for my content if they go to my sales coaching business. but why zero view? You know what I mean? So I feel like we just need to make some changes, and this is one change that I've done, which I've seen it has triggered the viewers, it has triggered the algorithm. However, this worked beyond our control. But uniformed your thumbnail and your description in that way. Every single, be consistent. You know, they always say as content creators, we need to be consistent. Well, I'm a salesperson, as you guys know. And um, as a salesperson myself, doing all this is easy peasy because this is what I do in my craft. You know, you have, if you want consistent result, you have to consistently put in the work. And so this is really applicable on uniforming your description and not putting a lot of rubbish. Don't put your social media in there. This is my advice. You can do whatever you want. Don't put a lot of rubbish in there. Because do you see, I mean, look at us. When you go watch a video of whatever channel you're following, you don't really go through all those things. What's their social media? What's this and that? Unless there's a handful of you really follow them because they're so super useful for you or super awesome, and YouTube is not enough for you to access that particular channel. But let's face it, you just really want to, your attention span as a viewer is the same attention span as our viewers, if that makes sense. So there's a lot to cover. So I'm going to move on. So that's what I've done on my thumbnail and my description. Um, Timestamp, I revamp all the time. Okay, next thing. I have revamped my titles. Of course, if I've revamped all my thumbnails, I need to revamp my titles. I made some adjustments. I do use vidIQ. If you guys have vidIQ subscription, or chat gpt if you don't have vidIQ, so I check it out. I basically create random titles, and then I see what vidIQ say, and then of course in the end I follow my gut. It's like, okay, that sounds good, or okay, that sounds, vidIQ recommended this title, and I tweak it. I move words and I added another word that I felt is more um, appropriate and more striking. So then that's what I use in the end. So also, you know, update your titles, guys. I highly, highly recommend. Again, these are the elements that I've been changing and touching and moving the last 5 days, and it has really given me more views more than ever. If I may say that I've made that mistake of following that big channel saying remove all tags. Remember, I talked to you guys on on the part 2 of this live stream. I remove all my tags, and then I removed the entire thing. I had no viewers anymore for weeks, and I was so devastated. I was like, why? What is this? What is going on? So revamp all the titles. I uniform setting on all videos. Okay, so I view my channel. Okay, I just want to share this as well as a as an advice or as a motivational. Um, I view my channel as if I'm actually a product in a grocery shelf, right? So if you go to a grocery store, let's say your cereal section, right? How many cereal boxes are there competing with one another? I look at us content creators like that. Like we are in a big store, only that we are separated according to our niche. In that case, I belong to cereal. I sell cereal, so therefore I belong to the cereal section. So for John, I suppose you're more on vlogging. You belong to another section where you're selling um, another type of product. So, having said that, right, each of the product in the shelf, I look at it as it's carefully crafted before it's even produced. From the conception of idea of how do we name this brand, to the conception of design, how do we package this product, to the whole process of how much are we charging, to the pricing. So think of your channel as a product in the store that is sitting in the shelf amongst other products within that niche. Like I said, let's just imagine we are, or I would imagine myself as a cereal box in a shelf full of other cereal boxes. So it's very important for me to obviously sell my cereal compared to the other cereal boxes next to me within my niche, if you want to compare that analogy to YouTube content creating. So, of course, the whole packaging of the title, the description, the thumbnail, this is what makes a box of cereal catchy, becoming a favorite, building regular customers who's constantly picking up for that box every time you run out of it, or you recommend this cereal to another friend because you're really happy with everything from this particular product. So I really had this in my mind. Like, I really tell myself, you are like a cereal box in the whole shelf in the massive grocery store, where there's also other cereal boxes to compete with. So this is why I'm motivated to revamp everything, from thumbnail to title to the arrangement of my uniform description. This will all be on the timestamp at the end of this live stream. So I will make sure you guys get that also as organized as possible. And it has brought me more views. Like I said at the beginning of this stream, I had like almost 900 views since I've done that the last 5 days. And now I really conclude that as a new channel, we have to constantly work. It's a lot of work. We have to constantly work, work, work. And what I mean by work, 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 it's not only content creating. What I thought is I can create 3 videos a week, which I had been doing since the beginning of my journey as a small channel. But I need to be motivated to create more content when I see more viewers, right? And if I don't see anyone viewing my channel or my content, I have no motivation to create more content. So it's a vicious cycle. We're all going to be in that situation. So in order for me not to be part of that vicious cycle, I have to stay motivated. Again, this is the salesperson in me. I don't want to look back and say, "Oh, I'm going to quit now." And I just want to say you're welcome to anyone who's viewed my channel, and especially YouTube, for my 90 videos. I quit. That's not the route I want to get into, even if I'm disheartened with no views for the last 5 days or so. But I need to do something about this. I need to go back to my YouTube studio with full motivation, with clear mind, and full of creativity and willingness to rebrand my whole cereal box before I put back my cereal box in the store, with the hope that the next customers who walk past would say, "Oh, look at this. Nice packaging." And then they read what's written on the cereal box. That will be my description. Like, "Oh, okay, this is something that's for me." And then they eat it and they're like, "Perfect. This is exactly what was promised on the description." If that makes sense. So I had to do something on my 3.5 months. I had to revamp the whole thing as if it's a brand new channel. From my very, very first few videos to my most latest videos, I had to revamp everything. Again, if you've just joined, the idea is to really take it. It's actually not a bad thing. It's almost like taking a chance and taking a gamble. Because if those ch- channel, oh sorry, if those videos have been dead, nothing's happening, what are you waiting for? So check out my description box in my videos, have a look. You feel free to copy and paste and kind of revamp it your way, and maybe that would help you as well. And check out my thumbnails. Check out what I've done on my thumbnails lately, and see how you can actually get some inspiration from that. Not that I'm the expert, not that I'm the best, but I'm still learning. But I feel like small channels, when we watch big channels and they keep saying to us, oh, you need to do your thumbnail, you need to do this and that. We all know that, but sometimes we don't know when is the right time to do that, right? We were not taught when is the right time to do that. And the beauty is we can do it anytime we want to. And I'm going back to my Excel um, management of of my content, which I've told you guys on my first live stream. That's exactly what the purpose of that is for. I go back to that sheet and say, okay, these are the dead videos. The last time I logged the views for this video, there's no movement and it's been a month. So that's basically my indication. That's where I look back and say I need to do something about this particular video by revamping the whole thing. So just keep in mind the word is revamp, because look at all these other products that you could think of. A lot of them, they do a lot of rebranding. A lot of them, they change the logo. A lot of them, they change the coloring of the packaging. And why do they do that? Because maybe the sales had been stagnant and they wanted to trigger the market and find something. Oh, that looks so fresh. Oh, that looks different. Oh, that's a new packaging of, for example, Pepsi or Coca-Cola or Hershey's. You can name any products you could think of who's done a tweak of rebranding, whether it's through the packaging or the wordings in their commercial. You can see that they do this time to time because they don't want the product to be stagnant. So think about that as small content creators. Okay, now I want to talk to you guys about shorts. Okay, again, the topic for today's live stream is about what happened to my channel the last 5 days. This is another thing that I've been doing with my channel. I've been taking advantage of the remix button. And so I pick one video and I remix it and then publish it as a shorts. I don't follow the whole idea of 3 minutes, or that's the only time you get some credit or something. I don't really care about that on shorts. But I use that to obviously promote and publish promote and publish my long video using the shorts video. If you've watched the last video I have, the last shorts video, which is the Eskimo, the ice, selling ice to an Eskimo. I think now it's almost 90 or almost 100 views, and I posted it yesterday. It's a shorts. From that shorts alone, not only that they viewed the shorts, not only that they were made aware that there's a channel like myself, but it also tracked views into my long form video. I also gained 2 subscribers from that shorts. But at the same time, I used that as an opportunity to post something when I didn't film anything long form. So the benefits of shorts remix is really very, very good. And I believe that that 90 something or 100 views, which is counted to my 800 something views or almost 900 something views that I've mentioned earlier, I am very positive that a big fraction of that, which is almost 90 or 90 something, is from my shorts video that I posted yesterday. So if you've never really taken advantage of short remix, really, I highly recommend that. Not only because of the views, because as new content creators, I think the biggest challenge for us is discovery. That's my mission. Thank you for the view, but at the same time, I want you to discover my channel. And if this resonates to what you're looking for or what you do, then this is not going to go to waste for you. So I highly recommend that. Again, this is the second thing that I have started to incorporate with my revamping my brand. Yeah. Now, next one. I want to ask you guys, community tab. I subscribe to most of my subscribers in my channel. And those who are especially super active interacting with me. Some of you, I see your community tab post, like John, I saw your community tab post. There's a bunch who do community tab posts. So my question to you is, are you actually using your community tab? If you haven't used your community tab, I highly, highly recommend that you do so. Um, because even if there's no one who respond to it, even there's only one who responded or zero. I have some posts that zero answer. I have some posts that have some reaction and some interaction. Please continue doing it because it also reaches non-subscribers of your channel. It's also a way for you to be discovered. It's also a way for you to generate um, a traffic in your channel. I've seen that happen to my channel where I posted something on my community tab and then I got a response and somebody said, I just bumped into your channel. Basically she's not a subscriber or he is not a subscriber. And because she found my post on community tab. So if you have not really taken advantage of the community tab, please do that. You can see me, I'm actively posting stuff on my community tab because I also want to connect with you guys. But at the same time, it will also allow my channel to connect with outside audience by, if they see my community tab, for example, right, and they like what they see, or they can connect to what I post there, definitely this person will go back to my channel. This person will check at least one of my videos. Yeah, so please don't forget to do that. Now, I'm just warming up. I've got really a lot of goodies to give you. And so, hi to there's two of you guys on today's live stream. Glad you can make it. So, I've just went through what I've done in terms of revamping the very face of each video. And then I've also talked about the really good benefit of Shorts Remix, how it triggered 90 views the last 2 days, and how I generated 2 subscribers from the shorts. And then at the same time, I also talked about briefly the uniform setting on all description. So please catch up on that if you were not able to watch the very beginning. Now, the exciting part, I want to share with you. I don't know if you've watched a couple of channels before who talked about the YouTube updates for 2025. This is very, very exciting. And I think the reason why I want to talk about this as part of the live stream is because this will also help us to be motivated. The biggest problem of small channels like us is it's like we're walking on a wire. Any second, we're going to fall. As a very thin wire we're walking through. But we need to stay motivated. This is again the salesperson in me. I need to stay motivated. And if I can't get my motivation from my boss, I got to get it from myself. And the same thing as content creator. In order for us to not fall down or fall off and say, look, I quit. 30 videos later, I quit. Nothing is happening. Wait before you quit. Check yourself. Check what you've done. Check what you've not done. And if you go through all this revamp, all this trial and error, and still not working out, then I probably can say, look, if you feel that's better for you and you've done everything, you've given your all, that's fine. You can park the car and find something else. So let me share with you some very good, motivating YouTube updates that is related to what I've just talked about earlier and in the past 2 live stream. When I saw those updates, I was really like smiling. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool because whatever I've been doing the last weeks, is already integrating to the new YouTube updates in 2025. So if you have not watched that, let me break it down to you very quickly and why this is something we should really take advantage of as small YouTube channels. So, number one, according to the update, have you heard of? Okay, let me break it down. Sorry. So, according to the update, number one, I've got so many thoughts in my mind. I don't want to jump around. According to the update, number one, it says there will be shorter span to hook the viewer. You know how the intro that we do, right? How many seconds do you think you can capture your viewer to stick around on the video? So now they did a study, YouTube conducted a study, and they had proven from all the studies, including Facebook, they have concluded that an average viewer nowadays, because there's too many choices, there's too many cereal boxes in the shelves, they don't have the time to go through each of them carefully compared to the previous year, let alone this year. So now from the study, they have concluded that the average span attention of every viewer at just at the beginning of your hook, just at your very intro, is 1.7 seconds. So let's forget about the massive competition of many cereal boxes in the store, but at the same time the customer now are they're so spoiled for choices, let's put it that way. And when you're spoiled for choices, you just browse through it and you just take what you want to take. So that's another update that we need to be mindful about, because I believe that this has a lot to do as well. Hi, Isabella. This has a lot to do as well with what I've talked about at the very beginning of this live or this live stream, which is I have already started rebranding myself before 2025. And yes, John Daniels, I sum up this live in three words: don't give up. Yes, don't give up, but also have strategy. Can you add that? Don't give up, but have strategy. Now it's six words. So now let's talk about the strategy. So that's the that's what YouTube is saying to us right now. The viewer span, or the time they would actually spend to decide whether they're gonna swipe away or continue watching our hard work videos, is coming to 1 point something second. Okay, that's fine. So now I need to focus on myself. I need to make sure that my branding, my packaging is very attractive. Another thing, guys, is another YouTube update that I've learned is priority on small channels based on the quality of content. It's not so much about the editing skills or how flashy is the video. This will benefit us. Yes, 1.3 seconds. This will benefit us significantly as new content creator. I am excited to hear all this news because imagine as new content creators, we are on a trial and error stage. We learn, we make mistakes. And so now that we know that the priority of YouTube is to really rank channels who are producing good contents based on the content, not so much about all this flashy uh, video animation and all these effects, which we don't, or I don't have access to that. And you can see that as well with the trend of YouTube this year alone. That if you go to YouTube, I don't know if you've done some practice search on the YouTube as incognito. Have you done incognito, guys? So I've done YouTube. I tested using YouTube incognito. So on the YouTube incognito, what I would search, for example, is my niche, right? I would type there sales tips for 2025. And then because it's incognito, it gives me more accurate um, look of where am I rank? Where is my video or where is my channel position? And when I scroll down, all I could see is it's so random now. The ranking becomes so random in the sense where there will be the usual big competitors that I have who has millions of subscribers, millions of views, and then suddenly the next channel will be someone as small as mine. And then the next after that will be someone even smaller than mine. So that's what I have noticed with this change in YouTube and how it would actually benefit new channels or young channels or struggling small channels like ours. So I'm going back to the very same point I'm saying at the beginning of today's live stream. I've done the whole revamping of my whole 90 something videos the last 5 days, and I've seen almost 900 views just by doing that. And this is to catch up for Isabella. This is what I'm doing in I'm sharing in today's live stream. It will be on the timestamp, so don't worry if you missed out a bit. So another YouTube news, okay? So that's the good news. They're gonna prioritize small channels, but small channels with good content, small channels with valuable content. So I think it's a reminder for small channels as early as now. It's kind of like YouTube telling us, I will position your video on the rank, but also make sure that your videos have values to the viewers in terms of the content. I don't know how they manage this, how they track this, but that's what exactly what they said on the update. Did they quantify what good content means? No, I think what I said is only the content in terms of what are you talking about. You know, if you're doing an educational video like ours, I think they're looking into also what's in your content. And this goes back, Isabella, to what I've said at the very beginning of this live stream, which is I have basically revamped my description. Um, I'm sure we're gonna catch up anytime one of these days. I'm happy to walk you through that when we're free to have a chat. But it will be on. It's also on my description of all my videos right now. So if you go to my channel, just check out maybe one, two, three, up to 5 videos. I have finished 80%. You can see that every single video now has a very uniform description. It's been revamped like a couple of days ago. I changed the whole setting, and I just really basically kind of see SEO, but also I revamped my SEO method on that. But at the same time, it's more structural, it's more simplified, but it's also uniform. So that's another thing that I actually have worked on, which I believe based on the YouTube update, if they're saying priority on channel with good content, quality content, I think if they would run the SEO in my description, they would see, okay, this particular video has some solid contents based on my timestamp. So again, it goes back to the first and second live stream, which is the idea of making sure that you have timestamp. And the timestamp should not be, which I've said on the last live stream, the timestamp should not be tip one, tip two, strategy one, strategy two. It should be what is on that particular chapter. And I've said that at the very beginning of this live stream. Imagine going to a bookstore and deciding to pick a book. We all are overwhelmed with the amount of books in front of us. So what do? We check the table of contents. And then when you see the table of contents, more or less, you know, okay, these are the topics that I'm actually interested in. These topics will be useful for me. Hence, I'm getting this book. So I would like to look at it the same way as timestamp being the table of contents of my video in order for YouTube to pick me if it's really true that now they're looking at the content as a basis to forward my content, or also for the algorithm. If the algorithm also is to say, where do I recommend your content? So now I'm trying to hit as many birds with one stone, if that makes sense. I want to hit the algorithm. I want to hit the YouTube brain who's deciding to say whose content is full of content or quality content. Also, the viewers in the store, which is basically, like I said earlier, I look at my content like a box of cereal, like a cereal box in Target, where I'm competing with many boxes of cereal box. So I got to make sure that my packaging, my description in my packaging, and the content, what's in that cereal box, I have to make sure that they are all together consistently, and as promised, that's what it's going to deliver. Yeah, that's an excellent way to see it. Yeah, cereal box, table of contents, books, these are all things that people will buy, but they have so many choices. And so we have to be very good and very smart with how we brand ourselves. And that's what I've done the last 5 days where I've seen almost 900 views just from doing it. So again, I'm sharing this. I'm not promising this is going to happen to you as well. But my channel has been dead since I removed all the tags. I had no views for how many? I don't know, 7, 8, 9 days. I had no views at all. Literally, what I mean by no views is like maybe I have one today in one video. So that was very sad. So I thought, okay, let me revamp my game, and so that's what I'm sharing to you guys. All right. Now, another YouTube news which is very interesting. Um, have you heard of the news about this thing called hype? HYPE. So YouTube has launched this already in few um, countries. From what I've gathered, they already done this in Brazil, Taiwan, and Turkey. They tested that in those countries, and because it worked, they are also pushing that now in 2025 around the world. So, hype is basically, this is so awesome for new channels. This is really going to be so good for all of us. But let's do the rebranding now. Let's get the whole packaging and rebranding done before all this kick off in January 2025. I know it's Christmas. I know some of you say, "Oh, it's one of my hesitation too on doing this live is because Christmas season maybe nobody really bothered to work and stuff." I'm working. I've worked enough. I've done enough free videos for YouTube that I have to keep going and going and going and make sure that whatever is kicking off in January, I'm going to be part of it. You know, I'm not going to wait for the ship to come. I'm going to swim to it. While everyone is partying on Christmas, I am going through my 90 something videos and rebranding myself, making sure that when all these changes kick off, I'm going to be part of the party. Yeah, Sabella, thank you for sharing. I think for me, this is a right on point. I'm also in the process rebranding. Yes, rebranding. So now, hype. Let me share with you what this hype is about. If you have not watched any video about this update, basically, hype is about allowing your audience to hype your videos. It increases the chances of your content to be pushed out, and your audience will dictate how successful your channel becomes. It's similar to like or super like, counted as points, and the featured channels will be on this leaderboard, and that's how your channel will be out there for discovery. So if you ask me, is this the good time to be a small channel or a big channel? For me, I say fair enough. It's time YouTube do something about new channels or small channels because Let's face it, if I'm following a baking channel and she's been around and she's been producing content for many years, and suddenly there's a new baking channel that is fresh, that's innovative, that has different perspective, that has different method, I would check it out for sure because I've been watching this old channel for so long. But how would that happen if YouTube is not even recommending this new channel to me? Then I'll stick around to the old channel over and over and over again. So my answer to that is this is a great thing for small channels that YouTube now is having this hype as a another feature that small channels could benefit from. I think it's awesome. Let's rebrand before this kickoff. Meaning to say, I cannot expect myself to be on the ranks that I would like to be if my product sucks or if my product is half baked good. This is the salesperson in me. If I want to sell my product, I got to really make it as best as possible. And this is just me, okay? If I have that expectation for YouTube to push my channel, I have to ask myself, would I watch my channel if I'm not even myself? It's kind of like if I'm selling cake, would I eat that cake? And if I say no, it's not so good, it's lacking flavor or it's not, then I will not sell the cake because no one will buy the cake because I would not buy it myself. So this is the same mentality. I think as YouTube content creator, if I can share some motivation, is we need to really also mentally work, not just creating content. What I mean by mentally work is really get your motivation going. Find ways to get motivated and be motivated. We need to be motivated because we're always discouraged every day when we check our YouTube studio or after you posted a video that you thought would go big and no view. This is the common problem that we have. Now, I digress. Let me go back to hype. So, how this is going to work, right? It's basically saying, it's basically a way for YouTube to spotlight rising stars on YouTube. So basically, imagine all of us as new channels as rising stars. We all are. I think if we are just a couple of months old as a channel, I think this is an opportunity for us to really showcase ourselves. That's why the YouTube is saying that this hype feature is an opportunity for YouTube to spotlight rising stars. Let me let that sink into us for a second. We have a chance to be spotlight by YouTube, and they are giving us a chance. So we have to do the work, and we have to do the work really, really good. So make sure that you're taking note of this as a related suggestion at the beginning of my video, which is rebranding your channel. Now, another thing about this YouTube update that I've read or that I've watched, I'm sharing to you in case you've never watched any of this. The new community tab in 2025 will be more interactive. Viewers can post their photos, etc. It will be a place for audience to connect this to each other or connect to one another. This is what I've been talking about since the last two live stream. I've been raving about collaboration, collaboration, collaboration amongst small channels because I firmly believe that there's no big channels who would even bother to collaborate with small channels. They have no benefit for that. Unless suddenly a good-hearted big channel would say, "Hey, let me help your channel, let me help you be discovered because you have a good content and I believe in you." I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, so now this new update on YouTube is the new community tab. Basically what's going to happen is it's kind of like a social media ish where viewers and the content creator can now interactively connect on this community tab, not just from the content creator posting something, but it's also for the viewers to post something in it that everyone in the community can see. And this will promote collaboration. This will promote strong connection in the community. And I think before this community tab even comes into place in January, I want to say that this is exactly what I'm aiming for with my community tab, where I encourage all of my subscribers to connect and collaborate. So if you're watching this video and you're not my subscriber, or you just bump into this live stream and you're a new channel, I'm telling you, go to our community tab, find collaboration, introduce yourself. It's an open space. It's a place for every small channel to connect and discover one another. In fact, so far I think in our community, although we're not so big, we have regular subscribers who communicate to one another. We have regular subscribers who also support each other in terms of, um, I subscribe to you because your channel resonates to me, or I would subscribe back as a support. Doesn't matter, you know. And of course, at the same time, it also allows all of us to connect. So, the new community tab update of YouTube is what I've been doing on my channel. Only that they're doing the technical part where you're already able to post pictures, we're able to post videos. It's kind of like a Facebook type, you know, if you may. It's kind of like suddenly we're in a Facebook community where we're all able to connect and communicate. So that's actually a very good thing, again, for small channels like myself and yourselves. Now, the next update is quite interesting. YouTube viewing experience. So the next update is what they call the YouTube viewing experience. And what it is about, um, okay, let me ask first. Any one of you guys watch YouTube using your TV? Or are you like me who only use YouTube on my laptop and on my mobile phone? So if you come from a population of YouTube viewers where you watch your favorite YouTube channels or you binge on your favorite YouTube channels using your TV, then this is actually a great opportunity, because now YouTube is saying they are launching the YouTube viewing experience, where they enhance TV viewing experience. So, how is that going to affect us as small channels or small content creator? YouTube is saying that it will make the link easier to follow, and the content creators' content now will be arranged as if they are based on season or episodes. Just pause for a moment, right? If you're watching in 2025, if you watch YouTube, for example, and let's say you're watching my channel, now YouTube can actually give you an easy access by clicking the link to my description, and by also being able to access my playlist and binge on it, right? And that's what we want. That's what we need to get through our 4,000 watch hours. We need our viewers to binge on the content that we have produced. But we have to produce bingeable contents, right? Let's just be clear with that. Now I'm going to go back again to my very first point at the very beginning of second live stream, or maybe first live stream, where I talked about playlist. Organizing your playlist as early as now, on top of rebranding your channel as early as now, on top of organizing your description as early as now, by the time this YouTube updates, particularly the TV enhanced experience, if your viewers are watching your channel through their television, and this new YouTube update will kick off in January, and if you have had already arranged your playlist, you're set for next year. So this is again connected to what I've been talking about. If YouTube now is promoting videos in 2025 on this new feature they call YouTube TV viewing enhance, or enhancing TV viewing, where they organize your material, your content, and they produce it and promote it into season, into bingeable setting. This is exactly why your playlist should be done before 2025. What I mean by done, organized. So if you watch my previous live stream, this is also something I talked about. If you've not watched the previous live stream, do yourself a favor. Please go watch it. You can just go to the timestamp and find what matters to you, the topic that matters to you. But because of this new YouTube features for TV enhanced viewing, where they promise to promote channels and promote it into a bingeable way in terms of seasons and contents, you have to start organizing your playlist as early as now if you haven't. So I have also done this couple of weeks ago when I talked about this on one of the live streams. So if you haven't really had the time to organize your playlist, please do it as well. We have a lot of work to do, small channels, but there's a lot of good stuff waiting for us in 2025. I can just see it. If YouTube is not doing all these changes that will benefit small channels, I probably would be equally discouraged as many of you. But they're giving these hints as early as now, because whoever is really driven, whoever is really here to make their channel work, you're gonna start working on this. You want to be part of this game. Okay, John, one thing I'm sure of, next year will be different for me in terms of growth. The determination and efforts I'm putting into it, coupled with insights you're giving out, we will achieve. Yes, John. I'm not, can you tell me, John, how long have you had your channel? Because I have been in this game for, yeah, coming to 4 months on the 27th of December. And I believe that we are still learning. We've learned a lot. I'm sure you have learned a lot. I'm sure all the viewers on replay for this YouTube live stream will have learned a lot. But again, the beauty of all the updates in 2025, it will really benefit us as new channels. But we have to work. We really have to work. We can't expect YouTube, okay, we can't expect to win on YouTube if our packaging, our branding, our content, our commitment, our consistency, our enthusiasm, our motivation is nowhere near 100%, right? So if you're doing all this work, or the works that I've mentioned at the beginning of this live stream, if you've been doing that already, we are set. We are so set for 2025. So I hope, John, you catch the few updates I've mentioned earlier. There's the hype, there's the TV viewing enhancement, there's the community tab that is going to be interactive between the subscribers and the viewers, and the community is going big and more discovery. So all of that are all happening in 2025. So we're going to start really working hard right now so that we can relax when all these new updates will kick off. That's a time to relax. At least for me, I would just relax when I've done all my work. I've polished all my videos. I've done all my organized, my housekeeping. And then I would just sit back and say, okay, YouTube, you do your work now. it's your turn to do the work. I've done my work already, but I cannot expect you to do the work for me if I have not done the work myself. Okay, so um yeah, so basically, in conclusion and in summary, the most important thing is to do the housekeeping right now. If you have any questions on um, how I how I did my housekeeping the last days, let me know. If you have questions, if you have any suggestions, feel free to shoot those suggestions in the comment section. So yeah, I look forward to the hype and the enhanced TV experience, because the hype, it will allow small channels to be promoted by the viewers, and it's a fair game. I just look forward to the fair game. I'm not here to say, oh, I want to beat the big channels. I'm not here to say I'm against big channels. Don't get me wrong here. But I'm all about winning in 2025. I'm all about working on how to get there. And I'm all about using my energy for the right reason in order for me to really move forward in 2025. So just do all those revamp, and I guarantee you the rebranding. Now is December 22nd. I know all of us are on Christmas break and some of us are probably taking a break from YouTube. I totally understand that. But if you're watching this video on replay, please make an effort to really um, rebrand yourself. And again, please, I encourage you, check out my videos, see how I did it on from my one thumbnail to my description. Look at it with the eye of a viewer, not a subscriber to me, but just look at it like, okay, how would I describe this thumbnail, or what is my feeling of this thumbnail, and what do I actually see, or how do I interpret the description? What is it giving me? So really focus on rebranding as we are now reaching the new YouTube um, features that they're launching, that small YouTube channels should grab, but we have to start doing the work now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We've got some viewers coming in and out. And I know it's Christmas and I wasn't really sure about doing live stream today, but I thought I've seen views um, the last 5 days from doing all these changes. So I thought, you know what, I'll do a live stream. I'll talk to you guys. I'll share to you what worked for me, and share the knowledge and see who will actually be reminded to do rebranding. Isabella replied earlier. She said, what did she say? This is an excellent way to see it. Uh, it's right on point. I'm also in the processing of rebranding. I think let's quickly talk about rebranding as well. Um, I think if you're doing vlog, my opinion only, if you're doing vlog as the nature of your channel, this is also the time for you to do more work in terms of rebranding and organizing your playlist. I mean, John, I know you do vlogging, and the nature of your channel is a lot of traveling, a lot of vlogging, or what's happening today and stuff like that. My advice is, because there's a lot of people who does that as well, is to see how you can actually rebrand yourself to make yourself different than the rest, more exciting than the rest. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the live stream, think of yourself as a box of cereal in the shelf in this massive supermarket. How can I actually have every single shopper to grab my cereal box and not the one next to me, the one above me, the one below me? So it's a lot of again, the only way to do it is to do a lot of tests with your branding, and that's what I've done recently. I've revamped entire thing. I remove all my thumbnails. I replace it with new thumbnails. Cost me a lot of time. I'm not gonna lie. There are nights when my eyes are already shutting down, and I'm still working on it. And I think as small channels, so small creator, we can agree to one thing. YouTube content creating is more full-time job. We don't stop. And that's okay. That's actually what, you reap what you sow. What we have to do right now. So, rebranding, if you're doing vlogs, figure out the way to make your vlogging more um, specific in terms of, are you actually talking about a specific structure when you do vlogging, or are you just walking around and see how it goes? I'm just sharing my opinion on this on account of as a viewer. When I watch as a viewer myself, right? If I'm going to watch a vlog, okay? If I watch a vlog, let's say there's this vlogger who goes to the Philippines, and what he does is he basically go around the country. And why I subscribe to him, why I watch him, even though there's many channels or vloggers who go around the Philippines, is because he goes to specific um, food places, food hunt, local markets, that I, as a Filipino, is attracted to watch that because I haven't been home for 20 something years. And if I see a vlogger who would really go to these places and tell me, hey, this is existing in this area, next time I go to the Philippines, I'll make sure I go to that specific area. You know what I mean? So I can also just be a vlogger who walk around and do nothing. Maybe there's a market for that. But I feel that if you want to rebrand yourself, this is only my suggestion. Please don't throw forks at me right now and say, Majoy, who are you to tell us what to do? This is just an advice as a friend to you, right? As a fellow content creator. And as a viewer who watch vlog channels, I usually would just really go for something that would make me look forward to going to those places again next time, because it's so specifically going to that direction, you know. So if you're a vlogger, maybe this is something you want to review. If your channel needs some rebranding, you can consider that as well. Now, if you're actually a channel that do education, like myself and some guys in the group, if your channel is about education or providing education, whether it's um, sales course or sales training in my case, or for example, you're teaching math or baking or anything educational, right? I think how to rebrand yourself, if your channel has been stagnant, is, again, it's about the packaging, but at the same time focus on your content. Your content needs to be something not really the same as what your competitors are doing. There will be some form of similarity, of course, but you don't need to be the same with one another. So I think those are my takes on rebranding. And so as I start to wind down today's live stream, if you don't have any more questions, but again, the timestamp will be on the description. I will put all the details in there for you guys, especially how today's live stream is related to the YouTube update. So I hope you guys pick up some motivation, ideas, and let's get it for 2025. Let's get our good momentum. Let's really do our best to um, do our rebranding, do our housekeeping as early as now before it goes crazy in 2025. So, again, thank you for joining today's live stream. And if you're watching this on replay, please check out our community. It's a friendly community full of new content creators who are there and willing to help and support one another. So, John, Isabella, thanks for joining in today. I bet everyone is on their Christmas shopping and busy. That's okay. Watch this on replay, check the timestamp, and pick something up from this video and try to implement that into yours. Thanks again, guys. Merry Christmas to all of you. I'll see you on the next training session. If you need any help, you know where to reach me. Bye for now. Merry Christmas, guys.